Let's see, 275 times 4. Oh, sorry, I didn't see there. I was just busy doing some math. Said no business owner ever. One of the things business owners really hate about their business is the finances part. It gives them flashback to math class where they had to sit there, stare at numbers on the board, do worksheets, memorize the multiplication tables with tears running down their eyes, get confused by graphs and calculus. Finances remind them of that. On top of that, there's the emotional baggage we all have from our personal finances, of not having enough money, of having bills that are coming due, and the stress. So typically, what do? We just are an ostrich. We just bury our head in the sand, hope that the storm will go past. That doesn't work for personal finances, and it definitely doesn't work for business finances. In order to be a successful entrepreneur, you must know your numbers and understand the business finances. What most business owners do is they maybe have the general lightest idea of finances, many not even that, and they just stick their head down and they say, I just need to sell more and it will solve my problem. I'll tell you, after working with hundreds of business owners, I've talked to quite a few who actually are losing money on some of their sales and they don't even know it. Now, whenever you're losing money and you sell more of something, you actually make your money problems worse. So, by doing some basic math on paper, you can actually project ahead what will happen in your business. You don't have to actually go out there and run it day by day in order to find out your business model has some flaws to be tweaked. Look at your negative bank account and be like, oh, I guess I'm not making as much as I thought I would. You can do this on paper and project it forward. Now, finances in business are hard to master, and one of the main skills that people lack is the ability to set up assumptions. So I'm using assumption as a vocab bold word here. This is when we don't have enough information to know an actual thing, we have to take a guess. So when we're coming up with an assumption, a good way to do that is to look at a range, saying, well, I don't know how much I'll charge for my product, but I know it'll be more than $10 and less than $75. Now we've created an assumption that we're going to be somewhere in that range. Now, from within that, we can pick a singular value. We can say, I'll start at $45. We know it's between that range, and it went from being any possible number to a smaller range. So we're doing finances and projections. We have to basically make an assumption. And I always recommend in this stage, show your work. This is important because as time goes on, those assumptions will change. If you use the assumption that your cost of goods was going to be $17 and all of a sudden supply chain problems happen and it goes to $30, when you've shown your work, it's easy to go back and basically swap out that 17 for 34 and see what happens to the rest of the math the whole way down. If you don't have that, you get to get out all the notebooks, do the math all over again. So after doing the math on paper, I always recommend taking some time to document the math that you did. Also, if you find out much later, because your bank doesn't match what happened, that your math was wrong, you can recreate that and be like, oh, I divided by the wrong number here and figure that out as well. So showing your work can save you a ton of time. Now, in knowing your finances of your business, this is just like household finances, meaning you have to worry about how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. There needs to be more money coming in than going out, or you have a problem. In business, we have the advantage typically of very clear reports to look at. So, a common practice that I recommend my clients do is that each month they print out a copy of their profit and loss statement and they compare it to the previous month's profit and loss statement to look for any major discrepancies. Then they can use that to project what the next month might look like. In doing so, they have some predictability headed towards the future. They also can identify crazy spike points where things were headed in a similar trajectory and all of a sudden expenses on something went way up, or the profit went way up on something, or went way down. And because of that, they know where to zero in and do some more in depth digging. But if you're not managing the finances, you're really kind of walking around blind. It's going to be really, really hard to hit that next level, to hit your goals and projections, and to get out of the daily grind. The final thing that is so important is that the financial statements of your business and the financials actually are the scoreboard of your business. Whenever you have those financials set up, you can look at them and know, am I making the amount of money I need to make? And if you are, you can sit back and relax a little bit. And if you're not, you know it's time to panic. What I find most often is when owners aren't tracking this stuff very well, what they're doing is they're panicking when they're actually totally fine. They are actually ahead in the game by 37 points, but they're acting like they're down by 30 with 10 seconds left. They're freaking out, but they didn't need to be. So the finances can also give you a baseline reality-based measurement that's not just your emotions and how you feel that given day. So finances are a key part of the entrepreneurial skills to grow your business. Let me know any questions you have in the comments below.